Don't need that one, leave that one, leave that. Well, this is something different. You can tell by the truck I'm in the company of Mike from TA Outdoors. He's on a couple of day family break with the kids, with the grandchildren. That's my grandchildren, not his grandchildren, he's not that old. And I'm down on the south coast with a croaky voice. Still can't get rid of his throat, his chest or whatever. Flat calm, probably a blank, but what a place to have a blank at. We're fishing and he's in an old converted lifeboat station. Or slip thing, just here. I might be able to show you better from up here. And it's absolutely on the water. Just there. What a place. It's high tide, the waves are lapping at it, it's midday, I'm a bit late to the party. Look at the flowers here. I know this is normally a good place in the summer, might be a little bit early doors. I've got no worm baits, I'll show you what I've got in a minute. And that's where he is residing, and that's where I am fishing down there. As you can see, quite an unusual place. And for a change, the wind's not too bad. So you can just make out over there the sloping ramps that used to be probably the boat launch slip in there. I can show you around later on. Mike's here with Emmy and the kids, and we've had one canoeist come past, kayaker. Luckily, I hope he doesn't come back because there's 3 lines out there now, and I've got no grip leads on. I don't think there's any tide in here. There's a river comes down there, you can see by the markers and the boat coming out. Isle of Wight's over there, and around further round I think it's the big shore stingray area. So I'm fishing for anything. They get double tides here as well, so it seems to go up and down twice. I don't understand it, but I'm fishing immediately because I know, looking at the Google Maps, that this goes right out, and whether I can fish at low water I don't know. Well, it's been about 15 minutes with bait in the water. I went and got my 3rd rod and threw it out, hopefully the kayaker doesn't come back, because that's going to be absolute carnage when he goes through those if he sees them and hasn't had the forethought to say, oh yeah, there was a man fishing there, I remember he cast out behind me. I'm sure he will come back. So we might not blank, we might get a kayaker on braid. Nice. I've had one tap on the middle rod, which are not overly small hooks, but just like a flapper rig, 2 hooks. These others I've got what I call smooth hound size baits, this sort of size. Squid, I've got mussel on there, I'll show you in a second. But what a gobsmacker of a day. Terrible for fishing normally, but it's just nice to be out. And it beats the fresh water, it just blows the cobwebs away. Look, if Mike hadn't have rented this place, I wouldn't have been here. But, I'll show you around in there later on. Probably carnage in there, you know what kids are like. Loads of public down there. Getting crabs. I should think this area get a lot of crabs, I don't know. On the south coast, there's not huge ripping tide. There's a place further down I might look at. I've got to have a look around this area. Cowshot Spit, I think they call it. But looking on the forums, it says there's ripping tides there, and you need grip leads, and sometimes a weed comes through, you can't even fish. What a day. This is about the last but one day. We've had sort of 3 weeks of really good weather. I mean, it's not summer yet. So I've got no live worms, haven't been able to get any live worms apparently. So some I've salted down previously, you've probably seen them in the films. I've already used a wrap of those. I've got a little sandwich bag to keep it chilled. Took the bait out the fridge and put it in the freezer and put it in the fridge overnight, so it's still fairly iced. So what I've done is just chuck a handful of everything in there. Get these out the supermarket. These, look, it's a mixed seafood that you can eat, and there's the 3 baits that I'm using. Squid rings, which I split apart. I'll show you. I've got the actual squid ring there. I'll cut one side of it and that gives me a long strip. I've got sections of prawn. I can cut those in half and use the tail half for tipping the bait, or use the whole one straight out and whip it on. And I've got the mussels, which, having eaten these and fried them, and they're edible ones, you know, I'm okay for bait. I'll give them a try. So that's what I've got: squid, mussels. Oh, and I've got some, the really gem ones for me are these, they're uncooked but they're unpeeled prawns, and I peel the shell, so I've got a bit of everything out there, people. And fingers crossed, at some stage I might fish through to this evening. The tide's going to go out, and Mike said, sent me a picture over there somewhere. This will all be like a mud flat, I guess. You can walk out there, and there was a guy in the background I saw in the photo, he said, that was digging worms. So what it's like could be rubbish, I don't know, but I might try that and stay, you know, till the evening. There are people that go on the boat to be quieter. So you can see the boats come in there and then go up a river up there, way up there, and you can see the markers there. So what I'm going to do is move about 4 groins down, because it seems the deepest point to reach, this will shallow out, will be over there, and I'll probably be able to cast the channel even at low water there. So fingers crossed we actually do get something, and if I don't, well, I don't. Let's get these back in there. So that's my selection of baits. I'm going to give them an hour out there and then keep these out of the sun. Keep them out in the shade there, they last a bit better. Feels a bit strange coming with no live worms, but there are, when conditions are like this, it probably doesn't make any difference. So although I'm probably on a blank, a beautiful sunny blank, I put the balance weight here, a sack of shingle with a tie to keep that tripod down. I can't push the legs in, can I? You can see I can't push them in because I've got all these big boulders here for sea defences. I mean, you won't get any closer to the sea than that, will you? It's a little bit slack. So I think the tide's okay. I've got no grips on at all. I'm fairly sure the middle rod with the worms on, those salted worms, will get eaten by the crabs. But I have had one that didn't look like a crab bite. And the reason I got the bag there is occasionally you get a decent fish like a ray or a hound, smooth hound, come along, and although I don't catch many of them because I don't fish at night much, if it crashes over, the rods are in the water, or worse, they hit the rocks here and go over and crack the blank. So I'll take you over here and show you. Quite a unique place. Under this, I think the water comes absolutely. It's a shame it wasn't down the West Country somewhere like that, because you'd be able to wrasse fish in these pools like this. I'm going to climb round dangerously. I could look in and see what they're up to. Yeah, there's their view. There's their window. There they are. Got to clean these windows. Covered in salt. There's Jack's the dog. Good job I wouldn't change. I didn't know that was a bedroom. I walk down here. I would never walk on this green stuff because that is really slippery, you know. But this bone dry here, and I'm right on the edge. And they say it can be two things here. It can be really tough for the weed along this stretch of coast in the summer. When the summer weed comes, it gets churned up and down. You just cannot fish. It balls up on the line. I can see bits of it broken off there, but we haven't had a big storm to break it up yet. And the other thing, they say very good when it stills off at high water for spinning for mackerel and bass. So it might be somewhere I might have to come again. Big long sort of breakwater across there. I mean, you got a gap up what they call the Eastern Wight approach through the Solent up there. Then you got the blocking effect of the Isle of Wight, and the other gap down there which goes to the Needles on the western end of the Solent. So the only way storms would really come through would be that way or that way. They can come from here, the south, but they wouldn't be, I guess, monstrously horrendous. If I go down here, I'm guessing really you could almost open those back windows there and fish out your bedroom window, couldn't you? Or even more so up the top there. I guess they must screw them up, stop kids falling out. But there you go. Probably another one of those places that Graham's having a very enjoyable blank. There's trouble. I hope you don't mind, I was just filming your wife in the bedroom. Yeah. Not realising it was the bedroom. Good job.
We're only changing the kit.
Good job she wasn't getting changed.
Yeah.
Look at this, straight after the bait, Jack. Bait's on the other side, no hooks. Well, you don't know all.
He knows that. That's what dogs do, isn't it? They go straight forward.
Scavenger. Oh, baby. What you doing? What you doing? So, folks, you'd be hard pushed to find a better place to sit and have a sandwich while you're fishing 10 feet from the rods. Not even 10 feet. And the sandwich is drying very nicely in the sun. The medal rod, I feel, has probably got no more bait on it. I think that's been stripped, so I might have to whiz that in and just check it. The sea's about 6 feet out there, it's quite shallow. I wound all three and cleared them up. They've all got stripped. That's crabs. So I have to start changing baits probably every 20-30 minutes. Obviously it won't last all day if I won't have enough bait and I won't have enough water, so the tide's going to go out. What a day of weather, my God. Look at it, up here. Come on, let's have one good bite. That's what I'm looking for. I will say the tide stayed up quite a bit here. Well, I'm getting stripped of everything at the moment, people. I've got on the bigger rod, great big black lug, but I've never done any good on them at all. They call them blanched black lug. And I have to say, I've yet to meet somebody who's caught on them, well, of any significant amount of fish. I'm not sure what I've caught on them. Not the world's great. So I'll try and here, look, a piece of prawn, and just band on the prawn, and the tide is dropping back. So it's gone way back all of a sudden, and it's sort of pulling the opposite direction of that which I thought, which is a bit peculiar. I'm going to leave that loose and just bind the prawn on, because the squid is a lot tougher than the prawn. There we go, just leave it like that. I'll probably do the same on the other one. The mussels now are getting warm, so they're quite soft. So, no bites, just getting stripped by the crabs. I feel it might be a nighttime place, you know. I'm going to put a bit of muscle on that one. Probably come off flying off the hook. In fact, it's soft. Look how it breaks up. More for the boat, these, and they think that very, very soft in the sun. Just go with straight prawn. Now these are the prawns out the freezer packet. They're not the raw uncooked ones. These are raw and uncooked, don't get me wrong. Unshelled, they got no heads. I like the ones with the heads, they've got more juice and guts in them. Let's whiz this one out. You see where I am, the water's dropped right back. In the last 20 minutes almost, I can get right down on the beach now. I'm on the beach. Should be able to see the old groins there, wood groins, breakers, and just now they've had to go to stone. Bit distracting, but that's as far as I can get out there. Charter boat just coming in there. See all the rods on the top there, catamaran. Guess that one's out of Bewley, I'd imagine. There's some setting up there, isn't that? We'll be up there later on having tea and cakes. Yeah, if you do come down on the rocks, just a word of advice, when you see it like this and the sun's been on it, nice and dry, should be okay on that one. Possibly on here, just bear in mind it's wet. It's always tempting as the tide goes down. This is the stuff you got to watch. Look, this green slimy stuff, so especially if it's like this sloping. So don't go jumping and leapfrogging and rock hopping all over this, because look, it just skids. Just give you the tip, it is really dangerous. Anything with weed is obviously self-explanatory, but when you get the green, like a blanket weed we get in a fish pond, you get weed like that on a slope, be really careful of it. Even over there, although it's like probably a few more barnacles to give you grip, just be very careful when you're doing fishing off of rocks. Beware of jumping everywhere. Even though it's sunny and looks dry, even with the sun on that, it'll be wet underneath. Well, it's dropping down now. Tide is well, a good halfway down, maybe a touch more, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. A lot of the kids are gone, so it's quieting down quite a bit. But where it's going down, you're going to start walking along the front of the beach, so I fear dogs and people tangling in the line, so probably not much time left to fish. So Mike's gone off with the kids, I guess a park or something. And when he comes back, we'll take a look into this place, have a look. It's just something a bit different. A bit dark in there, but I've for filming, but I can use the other camera, and honestly the views are spectacular. Trust me, they need to be. So I've had a break, guys. I've been digging. I'm in Mike's pad here for the next night. I'm not staying here for the night. There's Jax. Good boy. Good boy. I mean, what a place to say. Look, that's a view from the upstairs. So I'm going to have a cup of tea first. Wait for the time. No. I've got no food. I caught no fish. I've left my gear down there because I can sit and watch that. Have a cup of tea. And I'm just going to have a couple of hours. I don't know, 6 till 8, something like that, and then I've got a drive home and got a dinner at home. Yeah, good boy. So you can see, great big place. Log burner, no, stop it, Jax. Log burner, kitchen through there, and that's the view out the lounge. Mike, this is the lounge. Look at that. This dog wants to get on YouTube so badly. He's begging me. I'm going to leave my rods down there, guys. Going to have a cup of tea in here, and then we'll give it a little go. Hopefully get a little bit of flood and see what happens. I've dug out there about 3 bits of ragworm, a couple of white rag. I've got some cockles I've split open, so something to use anyway. You give it a go. And I've got the fresh prawns the shell on once, which I hope got a bit of juice. I don't have much hope, but listen, with a view like this, you've got to give it a go, haven't you? Goodness. I will say there's one guy, when I was digging just out here, a young gentleman spinning with like a lure and a float in front of it, obviously it's so shallow, trying for bass. He wasn't there 5 minutes, gone. I've seen no birds working at all, but they do get them in the summer when they're working, and you can see the terns diving. You can take some waders, wade out and do some shallow water spinning for small bass. Just going to try some black lug here. The wind's got right up, tide's coming in. This is blanched black lug, which I've never done any good on at all, but it does seem to hold out a bit longer with the crabs. It's like a bit of black army bootlaces. That's it. God, it's like leather. The crabs actually snipped the whole hook off of this. I've got barely any bait, but this stuff seems to last. I'm just going to give it an hour. Flood tide has come right back in. Look at this. It's a pleasant enough place to spend for a blank. And I've got some unpeeled prawns left. I'm going to whiz those out for an hour. That's it. All the people are gone now. It's gone nice and quiet. And you can see there's the channel, which I won't reach. You think you'd reach it, it's a lot further than you think. It's still shorter where that buoy is over there. You think you could go past that, it's amazing. Well, the sun's just going down over the horizon. This will probably be my last wind in the cast out, and then I'll make tracks and I'll put some fresh ragworm on that I dug, some cockles, everything's going on the hook now. Well, that was about as pleasant a blank as I've ever spent. Now, Let's pop over to Grant and tackle up and see what he's got.
Hi Graeme, just going to run through a couple of pistols that caught your eye last time we were in. You're getting your maggots and you what's that over there in the cabinet? So a couple of older guns, or replicas obviously guys, being BB guns. So the one that caught Graham's eyes the most was this. It's called a broom-handled Mauser. I know it's from sort of World War I issue sort of gun, obviously not this one, it's a replica of. This is just a BB CO2 blowback pistol, which is quite nice. So we've got the standard on these for your gas to go in, like the magazine handle to hide it. And then I think they believe these are, I don't know if they're 18 shot, most of them about 18. So that's your BB slide there, as you can see.
You load them in.
So you lock off there, and then you pop them in here one at a time. Basically, you can get speed loader things that you put over the top, and then push a button on it, and it
releases them all in one go.
Yeah, it just pushes them all in, makes up here. And then obviously when you've filled it, you let off the spring and up to the top, and that holds it steady. Then.
Yeah, just at one point while you got that thing talking about the spring there, when I did the army reenactment, guys, these are proper soldiers. I remember the guy said, "Don't put all the bullets in, they'll crush the spring," and they have a fault with it. It might have been that gun,
yeah,
but you possibly can fill that up, no problem with the spring.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the broom-handled Mauser. That's quite cool, and obviously broom-handle being from this piece on here, which is quite nice. But yeah, quite an interesting, popular with some of the old boys who come in. It's a blowback model, which is so you cock it, and then it's just a semi-auto fire. So. Which is just one at a time, which it won't load until I hold gas in it.
Target, would it? Target stuff, yeah.
Target stuff, but being BB, I'd say backyard plinking, should we call it, for cans and things like that.
That was an interesting item from Grant, something a little bit different. And now it's up and away. Well, sort of. I'll grab a quick spell before the kids come round. Wow, it's like that's proverbial held together with brown paper and string. Goodness me, that is just so frail and fragile. It looks, it is literally taped together there. I wonder if they do use the same dope as we used on the balsa wood and like little linen ones we used to make as kids, gliders, and then crash them and have to go and mum and dad have to go and buy another one. A little tensioning cables here. It's enormous. And a rear propeller, just like he wants to fly backwards. That must have been so noisy. And at the front, just show you the front, looks like a pair of pram wheels on the front and a little basket case up there. When I say basket case, that must be the man must have a basket case to get in this and fly it. Right, it is enormous. Skids as well down there to take a bit of cushioning on the ground. It looks like sort of no suspension on the wheels when you're landing. Must have been pretty tough landing it. Got a massive selection of helicopters, and not till you get out close to them you realise actually how big they are. I'm guessing, is that air vents or is that the engine? Coolant or whatever, I don't know. An absolute sort of mess in there of well, this one's got, look, submarine and some other numbers on it which mean nothing to me, and this is where it would, I guess, got what, torpedoes, people tell me. Is there a propeller on the back? Yeah, so we'll drop those as perhaps an anti-submarine helicopter. How big are the rotors? I'll tell you what I'm impressed with. My God, the size of the rear rotor. The tail rotor. Absolutely massive. Oh my God, I've just seen shrapnel or bullet holes. You see where they put the circles? Yeah, I've got the extension on the camera now, so if I bring this up now, you can see. We even took hits in the rotors. Can you see all the, I'm imagining, I don't think they're bullet holes, they're shrapnel when it's exploded. All those red circles. Oh man, it's just shrapnel for those kids. And circles all up there. I've got to be honest, I never realised how big they are when you're up close to them. It's quite something. Let's have a look at the next one. This one looks like the old Condor flying boats that I used to play with as a kid. And you can see the size of the floats here. If I turn the camera around like that, you get a sort of idea of how big this thing is. Like, I'll move. Absolutely massive. And then these wings will fold out, and the engine at the back, it's like a rear rotary engine. Can you see all the cylinders around it? A 4-bladed prop. So this one's all, you see all the rivets there, look? All aluminium, riveted. Just look like the bottom of the boat, doesn't it? Even comes with a special type of anchor. It's a very big wing depth area there, so I wonder if that's to do with the speed of takeoff and landing being perhaps slower over the water. I don't know. This is another ex-Falklands veteran, as they say. It's got the rescue winch there as well. It's got the similar clearance things there. I don't know what they're, just exhaust. Oh, it says exhaust, keep clear. Again, all riveted and stuff in there. That's why it's yellow, really just for main rescues. So this one we can get to go in. Not a lot of space in here. A lot of buttons and switches. And plenty of looms. These are the looms running backwards. You can imagine trying to sort all this, the looms here and cables out. What are these little bit like a breather valve there or something like that? I don't know what they are. Are they pins? They're all pins, my goodness me. I thought it was a fibre mesh or something like that. Very tight moving through here. So this will be, I'll take a stab and say that's radar, would that be? And this would be navigation on this side, I would think. So there you've got pilot, co-pilot at the front, I'm guessing here, navigator, somebody tell me, because it says avionics, and I'm guessing that would be radar in there. There might be somebody who recognises all the buttons and switches. I mean, it just doesn't bear thinking about. I wonder if the radar guy could do work on this if somebody was shot or wounded, or could the navigator work on the radar as well, or were they just specialist jobs? Plenty of space back here. And I've no idea what's through there. So there's a lot of space and a lot bigger than you think they are. I just noticed a 5 I can see there's a 5-bladed rotor at the back and folding as well. I assume to put it down below deck on ships. I think they're not big till I go underneath it. See the size of it there. How many jobs can those helicopters be made to do? Depending on what they're fitted out with, of course. It can be machine guns, rockets, rescues, hospital staff, medicals, whatever. That's amazing. I was quite surprised actually exactly how big they were. Now, going to get a bit hot under the collar. It's going into a hot house, and that is an Orchid House. Just something a bit different. My God, some of the colours are absolutely stunning. Nature with its paintbrush and palette at its best. That's quite good for me, isn't it? Yeah. Is that stone or is that? No, it's stone. Aren't they? I've got the one I've got.
Well, isn't the lifting coming down? We've got the lift coming down on it all the time.
Since you have a lot of pollen, that's going to make you tasty. Don't know. Quite really, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. This is now for talking about it, you know. What's the top?
Yeah. They're pretty, yeah.
Well, some of those colours on those flowers were absolutely stunning, weren't they? I mean, I've travelled the world quite a bit. Some of it's been sort of jungly type stuff, but I've never seen anything like those. Well, I wouldn't do, would I? Because they're specialist, you know, rooms with them growing into, as it were, hot houses. Anyway, thanks for watching this show. Fingers crossed I'll get some more together for you. Don't forget to go across, watch Mike's Tea Outdoors, see what he's up to, and I'll find some different random stuff for you next week to go on to a fishing film. See you then.